Didn't I just do another one bites the dust? Didn't I just do a video on that? Sears Canada. And before that, I did another one on this very same topic, GM. Another one bites the dust. Some more workers laid off. Thank God it's not us. Thank God it's not us. What is this? Wolf Street. Wolfstreet.com. Remember that 10,000 I told you the other day they had to lay off GM, which reminded you again of the 20,000 Ford had to lay off not all that long ago. And we kind of warned, there's going to be more of that, both more than likely from Ford. You ain't seen nothing yet there. And the other car companies, of course, because again, you've got cars sitting on these dealer lots, brand new. They should be gone within 60 days. There's piling up for 70 days, 80 days, 90 days, right? They're breaking records of new cars sitting on lots, not selling. And people, this is on top of the most ridiculous financing terms you've ever heard of in your entire flipping life, known as 8 freaking years. We will finance you and we will get you into that car in 8 years. With an 8-year term. Again, I hate 5 years. Oh yeah, my car will be paid off in 2023. Yeah, like what? That's crazy enough. 5 years to pay a freaking car off. It's not even a house. It's a car. How are we not able to pay something off like that in a year? It just goes to show you how some things are so massively inflated in price, and how poor most of us are, right? Most people, even though we're still kind of middle class. Well, I guess you can remain middle class if you can get a 8-year loan on a car and, an interest-only mortgage, never paid off. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. GM to lay off 1,500 more workers as its car sales plunge twice as fast as the rest of the industry. Now, hold on. We had this Hurricane Harvey, especially, was the main one, that we said, myself included, reading the articles, hey, wonder how the car industry is going to do all these flooded cars. And I said it then. Are these people going to go buy a brand new car because their car got flooded? The car insurance, oh yeah, here's what it's worth. The car insurance tells you it's worth a lot less than you thought it was, of course. And it's the used car, the used value currently of your car. So you say, well, I can take that money and get basically another clunker. So you're probably going to get another clunker because the prices for used cars are pretty good right now instead of a new car. But the industry was hoping you would be stupid enough and go buy a new car after seeing a massive flood come and take out your other car and possibly damage all kinds of things in your homes, and you didn't have flood coverage and that whole chestnut. Speaking of that, Austin Powers behind me. That old chestnut. That guy that was over here the other day, Bill, that I had on the back porch interview, talking with, he is that fella who sent me that sucker right behind me. Let's take a little peek at that. Yeah, baby, yeah. Austin Powers. It's actually covering up a little white streak of bond or whatever the hell it is to bond these seams together and the wall board or whatever. Anyways, hounded by overcapacity, but other automakers do just fine with cars. Starting in mid-November and going through the rest of the year, General Motors will close its Detroit Hamtramck assembly plant, its only remaining factory in its hometown, and lay off about 1,500 workers or so. People familiar with the plan told the Wall Street Journal. When the plant does resume production, output will also be cut by 20%, and 200 people will be out of a job. Back in 1999, the plant produced over 200,000 Cadillacs and Buicks per year. This year, it might barely produce 80,000 vehicles. Yes, and that includes after this hurricane when people need a new car. My car got flooded. Like I said, maybe people are starting to wake up. Maybe I shouldn't get that 8-year loan to get this stupid car. Since when does a car cost, 35, 40,000? And you're getting the low end model. That's why I've said it no less than, 50 times. Hey guys, I got a 2015 Nissan Leaf, fully electric, incredible gas mileage, if you will, electricity, anyways, when you figure it. Fully electric, 14,000 miles on that. I got it for $10,000. I was doing backflips. $30,000 car? Yes. $10K, thank you. That's how people need to think. Oh, I got to get the brand new truck, the brand new dually, Go ahead. You need your new $800-900 iPhone. How's that iPhone 8 working out for you? Heard it's a real turd and it's not really selling. Anyways. Speaking of iPhone, that old chestnut. The Detroit Hamtramck plant has already been subject to temporary layoffs earlier this year. And what did I tell you now that it's ringing a bell? Temporary. I told you ain't gonna be nothing temporary about it. That's just to make it sound good. Okay. Plant has already been subject to temporary layoffs earlier this year when an evening work shift was eliminated, part of the 10,000 layoffs that were announced last December. In July, which again, it happened recently as well, actually took place or whatever. In July, the plant cropped up in discussions between the UAW and GM. That would be the union. At the time, 6 passenger car models were under review at GM, and there was talk that they might get canceled after the 2020 model year. The models? Chevy Volt, not the Bolt, Volt. The hybrid, not the Volt, which is an electric vehicle, and that's what they say. Buick LaCrosse, Cadillac CT6, the brand's new luxury flagship sedan, Cadillac XTS, Chevrolet Impala, and the Chevrolet Sonic. I've never even heard of that turd, and now I must look at what the hell this Chevrolet Sonic even looks like. Let's look at this together, shall we? How's this going to look? Yeah, that'll work. Just don't have the green screen up. Sonic. Supersonic. What's this? From $14,000? Fuel tank capacity, 10.8 to 12. 138 horsepower. Boy, it's a real speed demon, isn't it? From 14,000. What do we got here? Kelly Bublik? No, let's go to Edmunds. No, Motor Trend, cars. Let's go to cars.com. What the hell's a Sonic? 14, oh, that's the base model. 14 to 21, 22. 6 photos. Oh yeah, it's a little tiny car. It's kind of like my little Chevy or my little Nissan Leaf. And how's that back door open? Because that's a little odd looking. You must open up the front, then the back one flips open. Who knows? Anyways, little tiny car. Guess they're not doing too well. Again, gas is cheap. What do we Americans do? We never learn. Give me the SUV. Give me the big truck. Until we get nailed with gas prices over $3 a gallon. Well over $3. They'll be sitting in lots and desert. No one will even touch them. They'll be giving away fire sale prices. Rinse and repeat. Meanwhile, I'll opt for something a little more stable. Fully electric vehicle. 12 cents a kilowatt. Ain't going nowhere. Thank you. Everybody's freaking out. Hurricane Harvey, gas prices are up. That's funny. My 12 cent a kilowatt stayed the same. And I plug in at work. They let me plug in at work. Thank you, upper management at work. Loving life. So, in July, the plant, already been there. The Detroit Hamtramck plant makes some of the slow-selling cars. Some of these slow-selling cars, including the Volt, again, not the Bolt, the Volt, the Buick LaCrosse. Dealers are sitting on 10 months supply in the Cadillac CT6. So the Buick LaCrosse, they have 10 months, not 90 days, 3 months, 10 months, 300 days, sitting on the lots, not selling. GM car sales are getting clobbered, not only by a change in consumer preference for, again, SUVs and compact SUVs, also known as crossovers. Like I said, Wasn't Crossing Over a show with John Edwards, the psychic guy? Nope, it's new. It's now a new compact SUV. But also by its competitors, GM car sales have plunged 18.4% year to date, while car sales of the rest of the industry around GM have dropped only 9.4%. GM's car sales are getting crushed at nearly twice the rate of the rest of the industry. And again, the rest of the industry is not exactly looking pretty. But not all automakers suffer from the dying car sales syndrome. A few other manufacturers are making cars whose sales are booming. These cars appeal to consumers and can compete just fine with the crossovers. The largest one of these automakers is Subaru, whose car sales have shot up 9% so far this year to nearly 250,000 units. And Honda, in third position in car sales so far this year, behind Toyota and GM, has seen only a 2.5% decline in its car sales compared to GM's 18.4% plunge. So blaming the fickle consumer, as GM likes to do, for its dying car sales syndrome isn't quite the right answer. To deal with its dying car sales syndrome, GM has been cutting production and has been laying off people. But even its crossover production took a hit. On September 22nd, it sent a notice to employees at its Spring Hill, Tennessee assembly plant that makes the GMC Acadia and Cadillac XT5 crossovers among the very vehicles GM is counting on as the engine for sales growth. GM told employees that it would eliminate the entire third shift due to moderating sales. Can't you just say due to sorry sales? Sales suck. No, moderating sales. Gotta keep it moderating. Hey, come out and play. About 1,000 workers would be cut. These cuts wouldn't be a temporary layoff for a few weeks, as there was no indication that the shift would be brought back in the near future. We believe the best way to react is to reduce output, the statement said. That's what she said. Of GM's 17 assembly plants in North America, too many are focused on building cars, but GM's cars have failed to inspire American consumers in recent years, even as Subaru and some others are making headway. Looking at production costs is the obvious and immediate solution for GM, but making cars that appeal to a larger number of consumers in the U.S. and marketing them successfully is a much tougher job than that GM doesn't seem to be able to tackle. Hurricane Harvey and the highest discounts in the U.S. history did the trick, and September was finally the month everyone had been waiting for. Read which automakers got crushed and which boomed, which I think I've already read you that one, but that was a little while back. And I think we kind of just found out Subaru, some of the Japanese cars, not Chinese, but foreign cars, doing great. That is, again, this is a sign of a dying empire. When you have flagship companies, GM, Chrysler, Ford, and they suck, and you have cars from outside of your country coming in, selling no problem. Again, there's bigger problems in this country. I think that's just one of them. Greedy executives at automakers cut the employees, cut them more, raise the price of the cars. No one's buying these things, sitting on the lot for 10 months. I think people have had enough. They've had enough. Chef Ramsay would say, had enough. Piss off upstairs. So Jim just told another 1,500 people to piss off after telling 10,000 to piss off. And again, I don't think we're done here. I think the party's just getting started. But Joe, the GDP they said was up this quarter, and unemployment's still way down. And we must be a bunch of idiots if we believe that crap. I mean, right? We must be the most moronic people on the face of this earth if we believe these numbers and this crap coming out of the government, which is fed right out of the mainstream. Look at the stock market, though. The stock market proves everything's fine and it keeps going up. Markets are up. How do these things keep going up? How do these great numbers keep coming out? When I'm out here every day finding stuff that says these numbers ain't great. And I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm not regurgitating an old article from 3 years ago and changing. No, this is brand new stuff. This is a recent press release. They're laying off 1,500 more people. Sears Canada, they're in trouble, bankruptcy filing. Toys R Us, same story. Retail Apocalypse, I've been reading him all year long. I've been telling you about these things. Each time one happens, no. Every time. How many times have I done that this year? Too many to count. But the numbers look great. The numbers look great. Unfreaking believable. But that, again, all these politicians, they got to look good. Federal Reserve, we got to look good. We want to show everybody, see, you don't need to audit us. We're doing good. We're doing God's work. To steal one from Lloyd Blankfein at Goldman Sachs, we're doing God's work. And how come the food stamp usage isn't really going down? It's stuck. Somewhere around 45, 46, somewhere around there, million people. Back 10 years ago or so, it was only 24-ish million. So it's just about doubled. It has been since the crisis, so to speak, in 2008, 9, 10 timeframe. What the hell? Nope. GDP. Remember that one? We're revising GDP for the last 10 years. That's one of my favorite. And they revised it down to crap. And my thing is, how the hell? We've been sitting on these numbers for 10 years. You've been literally waiting on Obama to get out of office, which also included George Bush, because it was 10 years, not just Obama's 8. It was 8 plus 2. So a little bit of Bush's term, all of Obama's term. We're revising all 10 years of GDP to junk status, if you will. Remember that one? I did the video on it. How the hell do you sit on something for 10 years? Oh, we just got some new data and we got to revise it. No, that's called everything's political. Oh, president doesn't want to look bad. Fudge the number. Oh, new president also doesn't want to look bad. Fudge the number. And we now got a new president, Donald Trump. He definitely doesn't want to look bad. Fudge the freaking numbers. Unfreaking believable. Take care.